Hey everyone, what is up? Jason here, and you are watching Super Nintendo Collection Quest, the monthly video where I go over my recent Super Nintendo game pickups. I do a little playthrough, do a quick little review, and see if it's a game I would like to come back to. And you have a chance to win a free game for the system of your choice.
As a kid, I loved my NES, but when I got my Super Nintendo, that was it. Great graphics, sound, and gameplay, I was hooked. Some of my fondest gaming memories are from playing some of the greatest RPG, adventure, action platform, and multiplayer games on the SNES. It is my goal to own every North American Super Nintendo game released. So, follow me on my quest to Super Nintendo completion.
Alright, so two of the games I picked up this month do support the Super Nintendo mouse, which is pretty cool because I rarely get to bring this thing out, and I know one of those two games I'm going to be playing quite a bit, so this thing's going to get a lot of use. Alright, so I did pick up, this month I got number 614 in my collection, RPM Racing. RPM Racing, short for Radical Psycho Machine Racing, was a remake of Racing Destruction Set on the Commodore 64. I really liked the idea of this game before I played it. Everything sounds good on paper. It is the prequel to one of my favorite racing games on the Super Nintendo, Rock and Roll Racing.
The stage is set, the green flag drops!
So I already know I like the style of gameplay. You can play one or two players, however, you are stuck in a split-screen view even if you're only playing single player. 4 players race around a track in an isometric view with varied terrain. You'll earn money from racing to buy weapons and upgrades for your vehicle. The game even features a track editor with save battery to record your custom tracks and progress. So already this is sounding pretty good, but then I played it. The game programmers decided to use Mode 5, a rarely used high-resolution graphics mode on the Super Nintendo. But there was a reason why this mode wasn't used very often. The high-resolution mode uses a large chunk of video memory, limiting the colors, number of sprites, and performance. So yeah, unfortunately the game doesn't run as smoothly as Rock and Roll Racing, it's not as graphically interesting, and is missing the announcer and great music tracks that Rock and Roll Racing had. But honestly, if I didn't have that game to compare it to, it really wouldn't be all that bad. I do like the course editor and appreciate the use of a save battery. Number 615, War 2410. War 2410 is a turn-based strategy game. Each side controls tanks, infantry, and later in the game, air units. Each unit is affected by movement and attack range. Some of the tanks have greater attack range, and you'll definitely want to protect these because they are extremely useful in helping to not get counterattacked. Because as long as you're within attack range, you will always be counterattacked, even if your attack will destroy your opponent. So having this longer range is nice because that's really the only way you don't get counterattacked. Another thing to keep in mind is the terrain. If you move your unit to forest or a base, you'll have greater defense but less movement. So it's definitely helpful to dip into a forest before making an attack. The game features a password system so you can resume your progress. I enjoyed this strategy game because it wasn't too difficult to get into. Once you understand the terrain and strengths of each of your units, the strategy element really comes into play. Number 616, and the game that's going to be responsible for me leaving my Super Nintendo mouse laying out on the game room floor is Lemmings 2, The Tribes. Oh man, I used to play the first Lemmings game on PC back in the day. I never did get to play the second one back then, so this was really fun to play. I spent a bit more time playing this than I originally intended to. The basic goal in Lemmings is to guide as many lemmings as you can safely to the exit. To do this, you'll give commands to the lemmings like dig, build, climb. but you can only issue a set amount of each command. So for instance, if you have 50 lemmings that need to get past a wall, and you only have 20 climb commands, you'll need to think of another way to get all those lemmings safely past the obstacle. What differentiates Lemmings 2 from its predecessor are the different tribes. There are 12 different tribes to choose from. Each tribe has different sets of skill commands to use. Between all of the tribes, there are 51 skills to learn to use effectively, many of them just being slight variations of other skills. So it does make the second one a little bit more difficult than the first because you have a wider range of skill commands to learn, memorize, and use effectively. But one of the tribes is a classic tribe. So if you're familiar with the first game, I actually ended up playing a lot of the classic levels because I'm more familiar with those skill commands. The Super Nintendo version works with both regular controllers or the mouse. Really, this game is best played with a mouse, but the controller is surprisingly easier to use than I thought with the addition of button shortcuts. I was really glad to see that this game uses save battery, so no passwords to write down. One of the other things I really like about Tribes is that if you happen to get stuck on a tough level and aren't sure how to get through it, you can always just switch over to a different tribe and play levels there. Each of the 12 tribes has 10 levels, so 120 levels in total. Anyway, I really like this one. I'm definitely going to be coming back and playing this some more. Number 617, and the other game that supports the Super Nintendo mouse but that I probably won't be playing very much is Mario's Early Years, Preschool Fun. So here's another game I picked up that uses the Super Nintendo mouse. This really isn't so much a game as an interactive toy for young kids.
3 teddy bears. 1, 2, 3. Stomp your foot. Snap your fingers.
The only problem is it's limited to a very small age group. They need to be old enough to operate the Super Nintendo controller or mouse, but young enough to learn colors, shapes, and numbers with preschool fun. I don't know why I was thinking there'd be more game here, but yep, this is it.
Wiggle your nose.
Number 618, I do have the sequel, part 2, but I was missing the first game in the series, and that is Poki and Rocky. Poki and Rocky was released in North America in 1993. It's a scrolling shooter that can be played single-player or two-player cooperative. The main difference from your typical shooter is that you control the pace of the camera and you can shoot in 8 different directions. Shooting an entire wave of enemies rewards you with a power-up, which is similar to taking out waves of enemies in Gradius and many others. You have a typical fast-paced range attack, which can be upgraded by picking up power-ups or downgraded when hit. There's a short-range swiping attack that will both hurt enemies and deflect enemy fire. Holding this button down and releasing it makes you invulnerable for 5 seconds. There's also limited bomb attacks and a slide move which lets you quickly dodge enemy attacks. If you slide into each other while playing 2-player, you'll bounce the other player around the screen wildly, destroying enemies along the way. The key to this game is mastering when to best use each of these moves, and they are all pretty useful in some way, unlike some games that give you a wide range of moves, but only a few that are actually useful. The graphics in this game are vibrant and the animation is smooth. I really like the Japanese setting and mythology that is heavily used throughout the Poki and Rocky games. An excellent but challenging game. Fortunately, you'll have unlimited continues at your disposal, but the levels can be quite long, usually with a mini-boss along the way, so you might be starting a ways back when you lose all your lives. And finally, I picked up number 619, Space Megaforce, presented by Toho.
Megaforce, presented by Toho.
Space Megaforce is easily one of the best shooters on a Super Nintendo. The game was developed by Compile and is part of the Aleste series. Aleste first appeared on the MSX, then ported to the Master System, Musha Aleste on the Mega Drive, or simply Musha in North America, Robo Aleste on the Mega CD, and then this game, Super Aleste, as it is known in Japan, or Space Megaforce in North America. There are 8 different gun types, and each gun can be upgraded to a maximum level of 6 by picking up chips. This game feels so well balanced, and it can be a bit forgiving. For instance, when you get hit, you'll lose 4 levels of power on your gun. If you have less than 4 levels of power, it'll just drop to level 0, and then getting hit at level 0 will destroy your ship. So it's not always just one-hit kills in this game, and you do have a number of extra lives. You can also pick up bombs, and some weapon pickups are fixed gun types, others cycle. On these cycling gun pickups, if you shoot them enough, rather than picking them up, they will turn into a ball of energy. Picking up this ball of energy will clear the entire screen, and it will convert one of your extra lives into a special extra life. The special extra life will return you right into the action where you die instead of back to the last checkpoint. The music is great, and graphics. Each level looks so different and interesting, you'll want to push through it to see it all. Some areas even use Mode 7 effects to keep things interesting. There are also multiple challenging difficulty levels for experienced players, but for me, normal mode was balanced just about right. I didn't notice any slowdown, and parts of the game can move pretty fast. Boss designs are great. Overall, there really isn't anything bad I can say about this game, except maybe it would have been nice if it had 2-player support, but that probably would have just thrown off the balance in this game. Alright, so that is it. I added 6 new games to my North American Super Nintendo collection this month, and I'm now up to 619 games and have just 103 more to go. And Poki and Rocky is one of the games that I did get complete in box, so that's pretty awesome. And T really likes this game too. We were playing this for a while. In fact, we liked it so much, we already knew we liked Poki and Rocky because I have the second one as well. But we picked up, or she picked up rather, I should say, Heavenly Guardian, which is the spiritual successor to Poki and Rocky on the Wii. It was only 89 cents at GameStop, so it's a bargain bin game, and it looks to be pretty good. So unfortunately, I got the GameStop slipcover, but for me, 89 cents, you can't really complain too much. All right, so let's get on to the game giveaway. This month's winner for the random free game for the system of your choice is David Alvarado. Congratulations, send me a PM, a private message, and let me know which system you'd like your random free game for and the address you'd like me to send it out to, and I will get that out to you right away. Alright, so if you want to enter next month's game giveaway, all you have to do is like the video, be subscribed, and leave a comment below in this video, and I will pick a random winner next month. Alright guys, that is it for this month. Thanks for watching. I will see you later.